Hello, everyone. History 401 here, back after a small hiatus to take care of some personal matters. Thank you so much for staying with me while I worked through all that. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. So, on November 1st, 2025, I was out and about for some post Halloween spookiness when I decided to use the opportunity to pay my respects to some notable people in the area. Follow me while I show you around. Philadelphia native William Crothers Dulles focused much of his time pursuing interests in horses and dogs. He owned a horse breeding farm in Goshen, New York, and was known to show his Cavalier King Charles Spaniels at shows across the eastern United States. In 1912, William was traveling in Europe with his mother, Mary Bartow Cook Crothers Dulles, to visit his sister Margaret and to search for more rare books on horses to add to his collection. He had apparently amassed a large library of books on the subject and even had a sizable vault of concrete and steel constructed to keep him safe. He and his mother parted ways in Paris, his mother staying behind while he traveled to Cherbourg to board Titanic on April 10, 1912. He occupied cabin A18 and reportedly had a dog on board with him, likely a Cavalier Spaniel. Sadly, neither William nor his dog survived the sinking, and his remains, numbered 133, were recovered by the Mackay Bennett and returned to Philadelphia. He was laid to rest in a private mausoleum in Laurel Hill Cemetery on May 6, 1912. He was 39. I'm going to be honest with you, I had to take a few minutes after filming this one. Seeing his tomb with Titanic and the date written on it, and knowing he had been recovered and was only feet from me, struck me really hard. I may have cried like a baby, but I won't tell. Only myself and Mr. Dulles' neighbors will know. In December 1911, the widowed Lily Potter decided to take a trip through Europe and the Middle East with her daughter Olive and Olive's old school friend Margaret Hayes. Olive had recently filed for divorce from her husband Bolton Earnshaw, and Lily thought that a trip abroad would help take her daughter's mind off things. After roughly 4 months of traveling, the trio decided it was time to return home, and they booked passage back to America. They canceled their bookings at the last minute, however, when they heard about Titanic and decided to return home on the new liner instead. It was a wonderful opportunity, they thought, and decided the extra week's wait was worth it. Lily occupied cabin C50, Olive and Margaret shared C54. On the night of the sinking, Lily, Olive, Margaret's Pomeranian, and the trio's self-appointed escort, Gilbert Tucker, boarded Lifeboat 7, which was the first boat launched at 12:45 a.m. In the years after the disaster, Olive and Lily became very active with volunteer work for the American Red Cross. Lily Potter passed away in 1954 at the age of 98 and was interred in Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia. Olive obtained her divorce and was remarried to Alan Crolius in 1920. She passed away from cervical cancer in 1958 at the age of 69. She was buried in Laurel Hill with her mother. Eleanor Elkins was a wealthy socialite, heiress, and philanthropist. She was married to George Dunton Widener, and the couple had 3 children: Harry Elkins Widener, George Dunton Widener Jr., and Eleanor Widener. George Widener was the son of a wealthy streetcar magnate and eventually took over the family business, where he oversaw cable and streetcar developments for the city of Philadelphia. He also served on the board for several prominent city businesses that dealt in banking, cement, and electric batteries, and served as director of the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts. Harry Elkins Widener was a noted bibliophile and graduate of Harvard College, class of 1907. In March 1912, Eleanor, George, and Harry traveled to England to accompany a collection of 30 silver plates that were being donated to the London Museum. From there, they moved on to Paris with the objective of purchasing a wedding dress for daughter Eleanor's upcoming marriage and to find a new chef for the Ritz-Carlton, their new hotel in Philadelphia. Harry took the trip as an opportunity to obtain as many new books as possible for his personal library back home, and it is said that he had obtained some 1,500 books while on his trip. Ready to return home in April 1912, the Wideners booked passage on Titanic, where they occupied cabins C-80 and C-82. Eleanor and her maids survived the sinking in Lifeboat 4, but George and Harry did not. Eleanor passed away from a heart attack in a Paris store in 1937 at age 75 and was laid to rest in the Widener family mausoleum in Laurel Hill Cemetery in Philadelphia. Sadly, George and Harry's remains were never recovered after the sinking, but the Widener mausoleum does have bronze cenotaphs to their memory. George was 50 and Harry was just 27. Eleanor donated her son's collection of books to create the Harry Elkins Widener Memorial Library at his alma mater, Harvard University, and visitors today are allowed to view his collection with special permission. So that's it from me from Laurel Hill Cemetery East today. There are a few more notables interred in Laurel Hill Cemetery West nearby and in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania that I could visit, but it's a bit of a drive to get to those places. Maybe I'll get there one day. We'll see how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, and I wish you all the best.